Mr. Willie Nichol. He has a Bachelor of Law degree from the University of Glasgow, Scotland. He's been a police officer for 31 years, 7 years later of corporate security management. And then he exited that space and he decided to draw on his wide-lived experience and numerous acquired skills to set up his own coaching business. And it's called Contentment Life Coaching. And it's a personal development and transformational coaching work that he's doing. He's a certified life coach, hypnotherapist, practitioner of Neuro Linguistic programming. Willie works with clients to help them find their own solutions to stress, anxiety, anger, low confidence, or whatever else is blocking their development or stopping them from achieving the results in life that they really want. And today, Willie's going to be talking about mindset. Willie, over to you, sir.
Thank you, Barry. Thank you, Margaret Ann, for the opportunity to talk tonight. It's tonight where I am. I know it's afternoon where you are. I'm Willie Nichol, the Contentment coach. I am based in Scotland, similar to Anna. Where I'm living near the seaside, it's actually not very warm. It's only 24 degrees. So I'm doing okay, thanks. Tonight, I like to talk to you about mindset. And I see there are a number of other coaches in the room, so there's no pressure now. Let me say from the start, this is just my one take on an explanation of something that can be quite difficult to explain. And it's more a kind of construct, more a kind of allegory that I use with my clients to try and explain how we operate in the world, how we turn up. So I'm going to be doing some PowerPoint slides. Hopefully they won't bore you to tears. I'm also known as the Techno Dinosaur, and I have a YouTube channel to prove it. And people think I'm telling a lie, but I'm not. My friend, the IT geek, a computer man, and I did 80 video blogs during lockdown to help people with various things. So I'm officially the Techno Dinosaur. But bear in mind, this is my take on mindset. Behaviours, actions, performance, attitude, results. I think that's fairly self-explanatory. But what do we actually think mindset is? What does it mean? Having had a thought about that, I again went on to Google and went to old friend Wikipedia. And they came up with a big explanation. But the word mind has a number of different meanings depending on the context. I don't mind. Mind how you go. Out of sight, out of mind. Yeah. Or maybe more appropriately, when we're discussing this topic, is we can do anything if we put our mind to it. Or anything is possible if we have the correct mindset. So we're getting a wee bit more towards what mindset is. However, I'm going to read this out from Wikipedia because I do like it, but I couldn't memorize it. So here we go. The mind is a set of faculties, including cognitive aspects such as consciousness, imagination, perception, thinking, intelligence, judgment, language, and memory, as well as non-cognitive aspects such as emotion and instinct. So that's all clear then, isn't it? That's a bit of a mouthful. But it does mention something I'm quite interested in, which is thinking. And that got me to do a further bit of research about how many thoughts do we have a day. Would anybody like to hazard a guess and put a comment in the chat box? Have we come up with anything? No?
30, 5,000, tens of thousands, 30, 300,000, 400 billion?
Okay, thank you very much for that. Right, so I'm going to go on to the next slide, which again is something I found during my research. Thinking. The National Science Foundation in the United States says that the average human thinks between 12,000 and 60,000 thoughts a day, which is quite a lot. How on earth did they figure that out?
Yeah.
More concerningly is that 80% of these thoughts are negative and 95% are repetitive. How they figured that out, I have no idea. But how does that help us with mindset? I would suggest perhaps not greatly. So moving on. What is mindset? So it's made up of two words, two very short words. From the wiki definition, we might consider that the word mind relates to our thinking. Typically, the word set means fixed or unchanging. So if we put the two words together, does this mean that we all have a fixed way of thinking when we consider what's happening around about us? So is it the case that our mindset is the way we always think, react, and turn up in the world? Is that what mindset is? Well, again, that's a very good question, as it were. But an even better question, I believe, is where do we get our mindset? Where does it come from? Bearing in mind it is a construct, because there's no such thing as I hold a mindset in my hand. It's a way of trying to explain how we turn up in the world, if you like. So where do we get our mindset? We grow up. I'm still growing up, believe it or not, at this advanced stage. And growing up as youngsters, we learn from our parents, our peers, our siblings, or whoever. We watch them, and because they are parents or peers, we think, well, that must be the way things are done. We're therefore heavily influenced by their attitudes, behaviours and values towards all sorts of things in life. And we kind of absorb that like a sponge. And these influences start to shape the way we see the world, and they start to kind of set in our mind our thinking. We then build in that developing mindset because we have experiences of our own and our interactions with others as we gradually progress through life. And eventually, and this can vary from person to person, age-wise, we reach a point where we think, yeah, I've got this all figured out. I know what's going on. And now we have our own very own mindset. Great. We've worked it all out. But what does that actually mean? It's been said that mindset is the foundation of our entire experience in life. I think that was some philosopher that said that. And that mindset we've just developed will determine our thinking and behaviours in relation to what's going on round about us in life. It's how we turn up, how we react to what's going on, because we have formulated this mindset about what we do in any given situation. And I've used this analogy with clients that our mind is like a computer hard drive in which is stored all the information we've ever acquired, which enables us to make sense of and deal with whatever happens round about us. So inside us, metaphorically, we have a big hard drive containing information. And we come against a problem or an issue. We go into that hard drive and search for a solution. So far, so good. So, my next question, and fire a comment in the chat box. Who has a smartphone or a laptop or a PC, or perhaps all three? I don't have a laptop, but I've got a PC and a smartphone. I gave my laptop back to my former employer because I didn't like it when he made me redundant, but that's another story. So, moving swiftly on, I want to talk about our operating system. So if our mind is the hard drive with all the information in it, our mindset could be described as our own operating system, which controls how we operate, how we function. The mindset is developed to a point where it determines our operating system, who we are, what we do, and how we do it. So my wife will tell you I habitually shout while watching the soccer because that's my learned behaviour, particularly when my team aren't doing very well. But that's my mindset. So our mindset is like the operating system in our smartphones, laptops, computers, or whatever other devices we use. And I use this analogy again. We are the device, and the mindset is our system, which makes us operate in the way we do. So we're the smartphone with an operating system that makes the smartphone work. Okay. But all the devices we have with their operating systems get regular updates, upgrades, changes. And usually these are for better efficiency, better security. My iPhone will ping and say upgrade or update to iOS 15.6.9.2. And so on, because it tells me that security enhancements are better this or better that. And you just do it because, well, why would I not? Apple is telling me to update and improve my device. But do we do the same with our own operating system, our mindset? Do we? I don't think so, or very seldom. Updating our mindset, our operating system, I'd respectfully suggest that we don't. We don't bother. Or if we do it half-heartedly. What that means is, if we don't upgrade our mindset or our operating system, the way we operate or turn up in the world will stay the same as it's always done. Therefore, we'll continue to get the same results as we've always done or always had in life. I think this is a Scottish phrase, but I wouldn't lay claim to it, which sums it up rather nicely. If you do what you've always done, you'll get what you always got. I would like to say my grandmother told me that, but that wasn't the case. I pinched that from someone else. But I hope you get the drift. There's also that phrase or quote, which is usually attributed to Albert Einstein about anxiety, although some dubiety whether Einstein ever said it. But anyway, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. And I've been that soldier. I have tried to do things to make them work and they didn't. I had to give up and then realised I was being an idiot. So changing our mindset is one way of changing the results we get. So why don't we do it? Why do we not think about changing or updating our mindset, the way we turn up in the world? We could also use the word reset your mindset. But I'm going to stick with change because I'm not too fond of reset. But sometimes you reset your computer, you reset your operating system, but I'm going to stick with change. So changing our mindset. We usually don't do it for a variety of reasons which seem perfectly valid to us because we tell ourselves that's the case. Fear is the obvious one. We're afraid or scared of what might happen if we change how we operate or turn up in the world. And I've experienced that myself, having been a police officer for 31 years, a corporate security manager, and now as a coach. And that involved quite a lot of change, about which I was quite apprehensive, but I got over it. Another thing we tell ourselves is, we're just happy the way we are, thanks. But are we really? Deep down. Just bone idleness, laziness. We can't be bothered. And that's not a valid reason, it's an excuse. But it seems valid to us. Can't be bothered. What will others think about me? As if that matters. That's just an element of fear. I had a good friend who couldn't understand why I wanted to become a coach. And he was actually very dismissive of it, which made me annoyed until I realised that I was changing and he wasn't. And that's the reason for his anxiety, if you like. But what if I suggest to you that it doesn't have to be this way? So what could we do to change or update our mindset? Our operating system. My operating system, the way Willie turns up in the world, the way Willie does what Willie does, how he acts, how he behaves. How can we change your mindset or anyone else's mindset? My view is we don't need to develop a particular mindset. We don't need to develop a success mindset to be successful. Some coaches will tell you, you have to have a successful mindset. You must, if you like, go into a store and buy a jar of successful mindset. Or a motivated mindset to be motivated. Or whatever. We already have a mindset. So why not just change the one we've got? That's all we need to do. Change the mindset we already have. Perhaps easier said than done, but trust me, it can be done because I've done it. If you want to change your experiences and results in a positive way, you won't do that if you don't change your mindset. There's another old phrase, nothing changes if nothing changes. That could have been my grandmother, right enough. Another thing I like considering is our mindset creates our reality, not the other way about. We create our own reality, albeit there are external influences on us. But creating our own reality is perception. If we think we're going to have a crap day, we'll have a crap day. We've created it. I won't go into the law of attraction. I'm not hugely familiar with it, but we do create our own reality. Now, I'm a personal development coach, growth, becoming a better version of who we are now. Growth and change go hand in hand. Therefore, it follows that if we want to grow or develop, we have to be prepared to change. Because if things aren't working the way we want them to work, as they are at present, not changing is not an option. Inaction is not an option. Doing something about it is the only way forward. If we come to the realization we're not growing or developing, or we're stagnant or static, perhaps you should consider ways of changing our mindset in order that we can grow and develop. But how? You'll ask. Right. Pareto's 80-20 rule. I've adapted it slightly. Everything in life is 80% mindset and 20% strategy. 80% of our results will come from 20% of our actions. In a business context, 80% of your profits will come from 20% of your activity. So the Pareto rule is quite important. And particularly in relation to mindset. Someone much cleverer than me said, mindset is our most precious asset in life. And I would disagree with that. And remember, we've already talked about with the right mindset, we can accomplish anything. Someone other very clever person said, mindset is the ticket to achievement, success, wealth, and perhaps even happiness or contentment, however that appears to you. So what's stopping us from doing this? I would suggest nothing but ourselves. We're the blockage. We're stopping it. So how do we get to where we want to be so that we can achieve success or whatever it is we want in life? This is determined by our mindset. Our results are determined by our actions, and our actions are dictated by our mindset. How we operate, how we act, how we behave in the world. So without banging on even further, to change our results, to get what we want, we must change our mindset. And this I did find was an old proverb. When our mind is set and we refuse to see problems, and we focus only on the solutions and the opportunities available to us within any challenge, we will always find a way through because there's always a way, and we will grow and prosper. So I would argue that mindset is everything. success in life, mindset is everything. I want to very briefly go on to talk about how I help people who really want to change their mindset. I wonder if this might apply to you. I work with people who generally want to be a better version of who they are now. And I do that by helping them find their own solutions to whatever's holding them back in life or stopping them achieving the results they really want. In effect, I help them change their mindset. I don't change it for them. They do that with my help. So as it says here on the screen, happy to have what my website designer calls a complimentary initial consultation, which is just an informal chat really, to see how and if I can help. Please get in touch if you want to find out anything else. These are my contact details, which I will put in the chat box, along with another little blurb. Finally, I would say, have a great day, because it's a mindset thing.